Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, and if I'm totally honest with myself, I'm still kind of recovering from the WWDC hangover. Man, they packed a lot of stuff into that 2-hour keynote, but the world of tech never stops, and neither do e-bikes, which is what we're going to talk about right now. It is June 5th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Adapt or die, so goes the admittedly morbid saying, and that's just what Bird is trying to do here, and I gotta be honest, mad respect. Bird is one of the leaders in abandoned scooters throughout the world, so it's taking a new tact. But first, a little background. Once upon a time, there were taxis. Then along came Uber, and taxis got sad. Along with that, though, thousands of other companies decided that they wanted to be the Uber of something, but they couldn't figure out what. Just as suddenly, other people realized that they don't have to own something to use something, so people started stealing cars to go to work. But that wasn't sustainable, and I totally made that up. But commuting was still a thing, and people wanted to commute, so city bikes became a thing in New York, and divvy bikes became a thing in Chicago, and voila! Bike sharing became a thing. And then someone thought, but pedals are hard. I know, scooters! So scooters tried to become a thing, and companies like Bird put millions of dollars into making them be a thing. But nobody wanted to look like a 12-year-old in a business suit, so scooters became a not a thing. And in some cities, even bikes became a not a thing and started getting abandoned. So Bird is taking another crack at this by making an e-cruiser. An e-cruiser is somewhere between an electric scooter and a bike. It has a battery that will last for up to 50 miles, a padded seat for 2, and optional pedals. So instead of feeling like a 12-year-old going to work, you can feel like an admittedly nerdy Fonzie, but with less shark jumping. So here's the thing, scooters are also rough because with tiny little baby wheels, you need a good road surface to ride on. Plus, in the world of cars and pedestrians, scooters haven't found their place yet. Ride in the street and get killed. Ride on the sidewalk, kill someone. Or ride in bike lanes, and either one of those is a likely possibility. People still haven't really figured out bikes in the streets yet. Trust me, I'm a cyclist, and adding scooters to the mix, es no bueno. Plus, e-cruisers, and why we're not just calling them e-bikes, I don't know, but e-cruisers can handle bumps and even a touch of bad weather and will be overall more durable than scooters. But will they ultimately take off? They have a much better chance than scooters, and I think they'll be more commute-friendly than city bikes. But can they be financially viable? That is the huge question, and Bird didn't come within sniffing distance of answering it yet. But, as we've recently learned, companies don't have to actually make money. They only have to convince dumb rich people that they maybe, kinda, sorta, possibly, maybe could make money someday, but definitely not today. It also should be mentioned that along with Bird's big exciting announcement of its brand new e-cruiser didn't come with any photos, just renders. So does this thing even exist yet? That's another huge question. So with that, let's head into the roundup! Spotify and services like it, Google Play Music, Pandora, etc., are the music streaming apps that will ultimately kill radio because that's music on demand. Who wants to have some program director tell you what to listen to? Well, apparently, Spotify listeners do, because Spotify launched a new app called Spotify Stations in the US today. Spotify Stations give you a selection of curated playlists designed to give a more radio-like feel. So maybe it's not about getting rid of the radio, but more about putting the radio on our phones. Whatever, I still just listen to podcasts. Instagram announced the other day that it would begin seeding ads from brands made by influencers into your Insta feed. Peachy. Well, Gizmodo has some thoughts about that, saying that Instagram is close to ruining itself. Ouch! The argument they put forth is logical. How will a video or a photo made by an influencer feel more natural in your feed? You don't follow them, so it won't feel natural, but hey, businesses want it, so it's good, and influencers will get even more reach, so it's good, so it's all good. Right? And will one of those ads feature an 84-year-old Japanese grandfather? Probably not, but they could, since the aforementioned 84-year-old Japanese grandfather Tetsuya rocketed to fame over the weekend. His grandson was home visiting for a week and decided to dress his rural grandfather in some trendy clothes. Don't worry, Grandpa agreed and was quite enthusiastic about it. Anyway, they shared the photos on Instagram and netted a cool 45,000 followers so far. And I gotta say, this 84-year-old dresses better than I do, but I do set an incredibly low bar. Even so, it's nice to see that Insta fame is still possible, regardless of age. And in a case of badly written headlines, Wired magazine has an article called, quote, "What does it mean when a product is Amazon's choice?" And then it spends 1,000 words not answering that question. This might be a sophisticated form of trolling, I can't be sure. Basically, Amazon's choice is a badge added to a product when you search for something like towels. It's designed to help people choose from thousands of possibilities, or when ordering by voice through an Echo or something like that. But how does the badge actually get there? No one knows, and Amazon is insane. So what does it mean when a product is Amazon's choice? You'll have to look elsewhere to find out, and thank you, Wired. Superhero movies are hard, especially when you spend 20 years casting and recasting the characters at every opportunity. And yes, I'm looking at you, Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Val Kilmer, Ben Affleck, and whoever the sparkly new guy is. So, here's also looking at you, Famke Janssen, Haley Ram, and Sophie Turner. But as Deadpool once said, these timelines are so confusing. But what do critics say about the end of this 20-year arc which culminates in X-Men Dark Phoenix, which I admittedly know very little about? Well, I'll quote Brandon Davis from comicbook.com, who says, quote, "The good news is that Dark Phoenix is an improvement over its Apocalypse predecessor. The bad news is that the bar was already pretty low." Remind me again how many actors played Iron Man and Thor and Hulk? Okay, well, we don't count the first movie, but even so, it was still less than 3. And finally, this story appeals to me on so many levels. So, when you go to a baseball game and your team has someone who is not a pitcher on the mound pitching the 9th inning, you know things have not gone well. And here you are sitting in the stands 4 hours later with your team down 16-0. So, Brewers fans found themselves last night. But utility man Hernan Perez took the mound and proceeded to mimic the deliveries of other famous pitchers around the league, and wouldn't you know it, he got himself a 1-2-3 inning. But the showmanship that he put into his mound appearance was just so wonderful. And the fact that the Brewers lost 16-0 is just icing on the cake. Go Cubs. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com, even if they're Brewers fans. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.